to order, and then have a roll call for the members of the committee at this time.
Alderperson Vitale,
Here,
Grisham,
Here.
Ranky,
Here.
Rote,
Here.
Stefanski,
Here.
5 present.
okay, thank you, Rebecca. Then we move on with approval of the minutes drafted in the License and Health Committee meeting at January 26, 2021.
Move to
Need a
approve.
motion? Second,
Second.
all in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the aye have it. Then we move on with new and previous matters. It's item 2 and 2022 operator license bartender class D operator application of Crystal A. Uselin.
Is Crystal with us yet, Rebecca?
No, she's not.
Okay.
So what we should do with her? Just holding it for a while or just,
I would suggest that. She did tell me she would be here, so I don't know if she's running late or not, but that's up to the committee.
she doesn't have any records, I believe, right? Maybe Nick could,
She does have a record. This was one of the applicants that was denied previously.
because not.
Chairman Vitale,
Yes,
if you want to offer some grace, being it's the beginning of our meeting and she may be running late, we can move on to our next item.
sure. That'd
Or
be
we can
fine.
make a
That'd be-
motion to deny based that she's not here.
Okay,
I think we should probably give her a chance to.
well, let's give her a chance. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Great.
So let's
Okay,
move on
thank
with,
you.
the next item. Item 3, it's a review of license applicant background check for consideration of possible approval or denial. So any question about this review about this application? So any questions?
If I'm correct, hold tight just a second. I have to pull this up. Be nice to have paper, but I have to do the digital.
Yeah,
How many applicants do we have for approval, if I may ask, Attorney Serwin?
5.
I believe there's 5, correct?
yeah.
Okay. And nothing
They
from
are
my
at-
understanding that we had outstanding?
These were the only 5 that we have right now. The other ones were on the consent agenda for the last council meeting. And so today is Ashley Kyle, Andrea Rummery,
Thank you.
William Sackmaster. Sorry, I can stop.
Okay, let
Okay.
me pull that back up. If you want to go item by item, we can. I'm just trying to reference my paperwork right here, so.
Sure.
Absolutely. However, the committee would like me to do that, I can go through each one, or if the committee has those documents and wants to make a motion, it's up to the committee. I
Well,
believe they were just emailed out as well from Rebecca. I think I'm not sure if they were sent out prior to that point either.
They weren't. I didn't get a opportunity to really review because I was
If
in
you-
the
if
meeting,
you-
so.
if you wish, Nick, maybe you could address for the sake of everyone,
Sure.
to
So
make sure
Ashley
that we're
Kyle is a new operator's license. She's currently suspended for her driver's license. In terms of DLT notes, she has a 2016 speeding, 16 failure to notify name or address change, 2019 no insurance, 19 failure to notify name or address change, 19 no insurance, registration suspended, 19 no insurance, 19 no insurance, failure to fasten seatbelts, 19 improper lights, no insurance and registration suspended, 19 failure to fasten seatbelt, 19 failure to fasten seatbelt, 19 operating while suspended, 20 operating while suspended, no insurance and registration suspended, 20 operating while suspended, no insurance, registration suspended, 20 speeding, excessive speed, unregistered vehicle, and then the last 20 is operating while suspended, no insurance and registration suspended. No
Motion
local
to
notes.
deny.
Any seconds based on the update of the information by
Second.
attorneys. All
Second.
in favor of denial?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. I think it was,
Mr.
What's
Chair,
that?
just to clarify, is that based on a record that substantially relates to the license activity?
Yes,
Mr.
that was
Chair?
my motion.
yes,
Habitual.
Alderman Road,
I would just say it falls under the habitual.
Even
point that
still,
we
a habitual
bring up.
offender needs to have it has to be substantially related to license activity.
I thought there was a habituality clause there somewhere, Nick.
There is, and it references back to 111.335 in the statutes. And so a habitual law offender is ineligible for a license as long as it still substantially relates to the license activity.
All right.
Would I need to correct that? I was the first to make the motion, correct?
I think you clarified it after the fact. I think that's fine. Is that, if that was the
Yes.
intent? Okay,
That is the intent. It's substantially related to the license activity.
thank you.
Thank you.
And
Andrea
also
Rummery,
it's shown-
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chair, isn't it
Go
also,
ahead,
showing
Alderperson Ranky, go ahead.
isn't it also showing a pattern of irresponsibility? In this direction?
Sure, I would say that the operating while suspended is something the committee has looked at in the past, and because there's at least 4 in 2020 that I can count, I think we can make that argument.
Thank you.
I believe it's a valid one. I mean, I know that's really related to the bartender license, but the fact is that too many offenses, it should seem like she kind of been reckless in her life, so
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I do believe that the motion was made and she is denied, so she will have to come before committee. So if we did move along to Andrea Rummery, I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, a second.
I don't have the paperwork in front of me. Does she have a record of any kind?
She does have a record of some kind, yes.
Could you
She's a
please?
Yes, she's a new operator's license. She's currently suspended. 2016, no insurance. 2016, no insurance. 2017, no insurance and interfere with a traffic signal. 2020, unregistered vehicle. 2021, no insurance. She's a 2006 disorderly conduct misdemeanor and I haven't seen this one before, but a 2014 contempt of court ticket. I'm not sure if that's just missing court or if that's an actual ticket.
So
That's it.
any further questions from the committee members?
We have a motion. We'd need a second.
All in favor?
A motion to
second that.
approve, I should say.
Your motion is to
I'll
approve,
second
right?
that.
To approve, right?
Correct.
Approve. Okay. I heard a second.
I'll second that, even though she's showing a responsible, she's not a very responsible person. However, it's been a length of time with those, you might say, violations. Can we bring her in to question her?
I would strongly caution the committee from considering those because they're not substantially related to the license activity. Those are tickets and they're traffic tickets. Most traffic tickets are not going to be substantially related. The committee has identified operating while suspended and operating while revoked as something they would like to see, but I would caution the committee from denying based on this record.
All right, thank you, Nick.
So a motion
I
and
still-
second.
I still
Yes.
will second it.
You seconded all the person?
Yes.
Okay, so on the motion and a second, any other questions from the committee or? So we can vote on that. All in favors of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the aye have it. So the next one, Nick, how many we got?
William Sackmaster, he is a new operator's license. He is currently valid. He has one OWI from 2016.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, the aye have it.
Tara Torres is a new operator's license. She's suspended driver's license status. 2017 operating while suspended. No other traffic matters. She's a 2012 ticket for retail theft and a 2014 ticket for retail theft. Just tickets.
On the motion,
Move to approve.
Second.
all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Who? I heard somebody else.
No, we all said aye.
Oh, hi, okay. So the motion have been approved by the members of the committee. So we move on to, that's it?
There's one more. One more.
okay.
Thomas Zavadil is a new operator's license. Has a valid driver's license status. and 1989 OWI. That's it.
Motion
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The eye have it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Alderman
Rowe.
Rowe.
Nick, if I may ask a question, we can't even bring any of these people in here for suspended licenses. I sure would like to know how they're going to get to work.
Having a driver's license is not a requirement to have a bartender's license. I would caution the committee from relying on that too heavily because it's not a factor. It might be concerning, and if they keep on picking up tickets or can't make it to work, but they are a specific, at least conviction wise, if we're looking at only convictions, those convictions have to be substantially related to the license activity. If the committee, I would have to look into an ordinance. If we wanted to add that as a condition to a license, I would imagine that under chapter 125, because the state has enacted such legislation on there, that we would be preempted.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe, like I said, that's a very touchy one, really. I mean, I don't think we want to, like I said before, I mean, I don't think we can tell somebody how to get to A to B, based on the, that we issue a liquor license or a bartender license. I don't think we could do that, really. So I agree with the city attorney, So we can move on to item 4 now. Combination of Class A retailer license for the sales of fermented malt, beverage, and intoxicating liquor for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 license period. Shogun Foodliner Incorporation, DBA Festival Food, 1111 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, 53214. Agent Kyle Robert Kane. Okay, our city attorney or Rebecca, those people are here now?
I believe Rebecca said they were.
Yeah, he's on the line now.
Yes,
Okay.
Emma.
And
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Chair,
sir.
I do have a point of clarification on this application, if I may.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I did review it, and I did talk to the city attorney on this one as well. In the city of West Dallas, we do have an ordinance in place regarding that face-to-face alcohol sales or not having drive-through alcohol sales. It requires people exit their vehicle. Additionally, Wisconsin statute section 125.272 also requires that face-to-face alcohol sale. Now, I know in the application, there is a lot of information on how festival intends or would plan on changing that, but it is, at least from the city's attorney's office perspective, not permissible based on our ordinance and state law. There is legislation that was proposed, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, attempting to change that up, but nothing has changed in state statute yet.
Mr. Chair,
So, yes, Alderman Stacey.
Nick, when is Festival Foods opening?
That I don't know. That might be a better question for the agent.
21st of May.
21st of May. Okay, because I noticed that the time periods from July 1st of last year to June 30th of this year on the agenda. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think for clarification on that point, the license runs that long, and so I think that's just how it's identified in the agenda, because that's how long the license period is.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Alderman Road.
Nick, I had called you and I bet you didn't get my message. I'm wondering if we can hold this one till our regularly scheduled meeting, because I have a few things I'd like to talk about, not in public, but in closed session. Is that possible, Nick or Chairman Vitale?
Well, we could do that. I mean, is there really a need for us to go on closed session for something like that? Or we can,
Apparently there was, if I asked for it.
yeah, I mean, if you wanted, then I'm sure we could do it.
I just don't want, I just think there should be some things to discuss. And one was the point of contact sale that Nick was just talking about just now. Is this very similar to what Pick and Save had requested last summer, I believe it was?
I don't know what Pick and Save requested last summer. I'm going to look into whether or not this is sufficient to go into closed session. Most of the time that's related to litigation type matters. And there's very specific reasons we can go into closed session. I'd have to check if this is one of those. maybe we have to talk more. We can pass it or hold it for another meeting, and we could talk more on the rationale for that to see if it's a legally permissible closed session item.
So Nick, based on the state statute, right now, nobody is obligated to purchase liquor through a driving through, right? We don't have, and still we don't have it in our city ordinance. So myself, I'm kind of strong about it. I believe a person, whether it goes to Pick and Save or anywhere else where they provide alcohol, to me, I feel they should go face to face physically. If they need to buy that stuff so graciously, they should really go inside the store and purchase the stuff, like I say, face to face. I mean, driving through, I mean, to me, that's something I think, if the state changes that, the state legislature will feel that something, it's workable. But to me, I mean, I'm not really thrilled about it, that somebody can go through a driving through. It could be the guy could be 20
Mr.
years old.
Chair?
Yes.
Considering Attorney Serwin kind of gave us the overview of what the state statutes are currently right now, I see no reason really that we would need to question, whether this can take place or not. It's obviously against our ordinance and state. So I would see this, if I'm correct, that this license would have to be amended. Am I correct on that, Attorney Serwin?
I believe it's a new application for a license, and so the committee can clarify with the agent and say, hey, on the premises that's identified, it also includes designated parking stalls for click and go pickup. The end result could be that the committee says, we'll issue this if you remove that section, and it could be issued for the time being. The agent can always amend. If we change our ordinance or the state changes the law, the agent can always ask for an amendment to the premises and change that back up. But right now it is against our code, and it's the city attorney's position that's against state law as well. Just to be also clear, it's not the way they've proposed it. Maybe it's a better question for them, but it sounds like you'd make your selections online. You have to provide a credit card online, and then you'd go to pick it up from one of these 3 designated spots. There's a whole process that they have identified or delineated for that.
Okay, thank you so much. And with that being said, I'd like the opportunity for the agent to speak to that. And knowing that this isn't something that you need to convince us of, so to speak, because it's not going to change the fact that it's against ordinance or state right now, that would be something that you would have to take a look at, explaining how you would either remove that or put that on hold until it was, in fact, an ordinance or the state would allow it. So if you want to take a moment to explain so we can further understand what your intent behind it was, and if it's something that you even want to discuss or you'd prefer to remove that from the application at this point.
Yeah, I can explain it. So how it works is they select what they want for alcohol beverages on the app. The app then flags that it's an alcohol beverage and that an ID needs to be checked. Then when they package the orders, a tag goes on to check ID, and also before the credit card gets processed, they have to scan the ID with our app. It's just like what they would use at a nightclub or a bar. They scan the actual license right outside the window of the vehicle, and we still follow the same procedures. If it's somebody that's underage, we end the sale, we don't go through with it. So we do see them face to face. It's in designated parking stalls, and we scan their actual ID and verify that they are the same person that is on the order is picking it up. They have to have the same name. It can't be anybody else. I can't order it and have my wife go pick it up. I have to be the one that picks it up. And then when they're out there for the face-to-face conversation, and just like if anybody goes through a line in our registers, if something seems weird or suspicious, or it's a kid that looks like he just turned 21, he's got a group of his friends, we can end the sale right there. So
okay, well, thank you for the clarification. As it stands right now, and as it was explained by Attorney Serwin, I don't think it would be a go based on our ordinance anyhow. So I don't know if any other alders have a question for you. As I said, it's not even a further point of discussion for me, because until it changes ordinance wise, we can't approve that. I wouldn't be able to approve that.
So any other question from the committee members?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, all the person
This-
ranking.
Okay. I would support giving them a license, but I would want that part that they have included as part of their plan eliminated. So how would we go about that, Nick? How would we go about eliminating that particular of their plan?
I think there's two ways we could do it. One is the agent could simply verbally elect to remove that, and then the license would reflect that the premises is only the four corners of the establishment as they've identified. Or the committee can do it itself, and ultimately it's going to be kind of up to the agent and the entity if they want to accept that change or not want a license at all.
Thank you.
May I
So-
ask one more question of the agent?
Yeah, go ahead, all person.
Thank you,
Sure.
Alderman Vitale. Will this change the impact of you going forward with your business if you don't have this option? Are you still going to,
Obviously, we would-
you're still pursuing to have a liquor license in the Four Corners as Attorney Serwin said?
Yes, we would still pursue the liquor license in the Four Corners. Obviously, we would like to have click and go with being able to purchase alcohol along with all the other groceries, but
Well, if I may say this, as far as a future item, and I guess I would ask for clarification from Attorney Serwin on this too. If this ends up changing by state and we look at this as an ordinance, it's not giving you the option to come back and request that under your licensure, correct? Is that correct, Attorney Serwin?
There is a procedure in place for updating or amending a licensed premises. It ultimately would have to be approved by the committee or council. So people can't just change that without your approval, but yeah, they could do that. It could be easily changed.
Okay, well, I would then move on to what Alderwoman Ranky had suggested, if the agent would like to remove that aspect of it, or somebody can make a motion to do so.
I mean, we need a motion that was, of course, by older person, Suzette Christian, to remove the item from the, I mean.
Well, I
call
believe
it
I'll give
the
courtey
agent.
to Alderwoman Ranky because she's the one who brought it up, so.
Yeah, would you like to
Alderwoman
make an
Ranky, would you like
emotion
to make
this
that
time?
motion?
Oh, thank you, Suzette.
You're welcome.
I
Yeah.
certainly would like to make the motion that that part of the plan is eliminated, and then I would support, I support the giving the license to the festival foods under those conditions.
And I would second that.
So all in
Mr. Chair, on the
favor,
motion.
all in favor
Mr.
of the
Chair.
motion?
Hang
Of
on,
denial.
hang on a
One
second.
moment,
Wait.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Um,
yes, Nick.
Mr. Agent, I'm sorry, I don't have your name in front of me right here.
Yeah.
Is that something, I know you were asked previously if that's something you would be okay with? That's something that you had reflected that you'd still want to move forward with the license anyways. Are you willing to amend that and or take that portion out of the license or the application?
yes.
All right, very good. Then I have no further issue with the motion.
So
Attorney
based on the-
Serwin, Do we
Yes.
need to make a new motion to approve as it is amended, or is that just suffice?
Yes,
I think that's fine. I think the motion is fine. I just wanted to make sure there was all parties understood what the terms of the approval are going to be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Nick, the application is based on the way it had been written by the agent or by Festival Corporation. So that paragraph has to be removed just as well by you to confirm that, when we,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
when we issue the license, we will not have that on as the premises description.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rebecca.
So for clarity, the premises description will be 73,766 square feet store, and it'll end there.
Very
The
good.
remaining portion is including designated parking stalls, and that's the part that was removed. Okay?
Yeah,
So we have a motion and a second, and we need a vote.
yes, all in favors of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the eye have it. So we can move on. Thank you, Mr. Kyle,
You're welcome.
Dan, for
Thank you.
coming. Thank you.
Yes, have a great night.
You too.
You too. So then we move on to item 5. Class B tavern license for the July 1st, 2020 to June 21st license period. Peter Años, DBA 81st Classic Cafe, 1650 South 84th Street. Is Mr. Años around?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
No, he's not, and he did not respond to my notification, so I might suggest that you hold this.
Yeah, we can hold it for him. I mean, I don't, like I say, he's, I mean, he's been pretty good citizen here, you know?
I make a motion to hold
Yeah.
Second,
item 2021-0117.
second,
All in favor of the motion to hold it?
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Then we move to items number 6, 2021-008, ordinance to authorize clerk to issue operator's license. I believe we all had been discussing this particular issue, you know, that, you know, to make some of the changes. So Rebecca, it's all yours, right? Or Nick?
I think Attorney Serwin was going to summarize it
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, he,
Sure, thank you. So if you look at the ordinance that was proposed, the Muni Code application changes the entirety of that code. So if you scroll down to where you start seeing color changes, that's going to be on page 11 and page 12 of the municipal code section. That was included. Basically, this is what we had talked about on that previous date in terms of the committee delegating some authority to the clerk's office to approve bartenders' licenses or operators' licenses that they're called through the state if they meet certain qualifications. Effectively, and if I were to relate back to the meeting or the names we had earlier today, those 5 names, the way it's written right now, all 4 of the names would have been approved and Kyle would have gone to the committee for your discussion. And so it would have, at least in this scenario, would have ended up exactly the same, just without discussing the other 4 names. They would have been approved by the clerk's office through the discretion you've granted. Do you want me to
Mr.
go through?
Chair? Oh, I'm sorry.
yes,
Go ahead.
yes, yes, all the person Christian.
I just want to say, I think I'm pretty sure everybody looked this over. We had a really great discussion on this
Yes.
too. And I'm very pleased, Rebecca, thank you so much and Nick for putting this together. I think it will really provide a lot of efficiencies for our committee itself that we can move along with business at hand. And I don't see anything in there that wasn't discussed last session that would give me reason to say I'd like to see any changes with it. I think it's a well thought out description as to how the licenses will be reviewed or the applicants will be reviewed.
Yeah, that's what I felt the same way myself, really. I think, that's what I say, based on what we talk about it, I think it's a well layout, you know, and I appreciate you addressed that, you know, just as well. So any questions?
Mr. Chair, just for a
Yeah.
second, I'm sorry. When I clicked on the link on maybe I'm clicking an old agenda item, but it's bringing me to a different version. Is anybody else getting that problem? Rebecca, do you see that or no?
What version? I'm not clear, Nick.
I'm trying to,
I'm seeing it only having 2 sub items. And so that's definitely not what was intended. I just want to make sure we're discussing the right one. It should be what everyone's aware of. And the
Trying to
memo that I sent.
reopen mine right now.
Yeah,
I don't have that.
There's 11 items, right? Am I correct?
Yes. I want to say there's 8 actually, but the copy that is linked, at least that I access, isn't the right copy.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna go back to the agenda packet
well,
and
the
see
one
what I
that,
come up with.
Nick, the one you forward, I believe that's the one that I have here. You know,
Okay, that's the one I want to make sure we're talking about. So I
Yes.
have that up here as well.
Yes,
it looks like the other one might not have been attached. I can attach that one too, so by the time it would go to the council, it would have the correct information on there.
Thank you. I can
So-
address any other questions or concerns, or However, the committee can proceed however it sees fit.
Mr. Clerk,
Yes,
I realize that our attorney Nick and Rebecca did a good job as far as efficiency is concerned regarding this plan. However, I have reservations regarding how it would be implemented. How do we, well, would you put one person in charge of doing the work considering the qualifications of these candidates? Confidentiality to me is very important. And basically, I have not enjoyed, I shouldn't put it that way. I guess I'm looking for a word. Discussion to me is important regarding these candidates. There wouldn't be any discussion unless obviously they were not approved. Am I right in considering this? I mean, here we have the oversight of 5 people
Mr. Chair.
versus one person making the decisions. Do I understand? And also the additional workload for the clerk's department. They rarely are in the department itself because they have other duties to perform. So with this bear efficiency, with the additional workload for clerk's department, I guess only Rebecca could answer that, especially during elections. I guess I just need a little more information on how you're going to implement it, Rebecca.
Mr. Chair.
yes. Oh, Rebecca, go ahead.
So this document outlines when people have to come before the committee and when if you would approve this, when we could issue the license to them. We would have one person making the initial checking, and then I would look and make sure that they were making an accurate judgment based on what would be in the ordinance. And then if we had questions, we would reach out to the attorney's office and Nick to find out if we could issue it or if we should send it to the License and Health Committee. Regarding the workload, doing the process we do now adds a lot of steps that we wouldn't have if you would approve this ordinance. And there's whenever you deal with licenses and permits, if you have a person who is going to not follow the rules, there's various parts in the process that they could do things that no one would know about. So as far as, the oversight, if we put the specific processes in place for the review and overview, I don't feel that there's going to be an issue with someone issuing something that nefariously issuing something that they shouldn't be issuing.
And Mr. Chair, if I could as well.
Yes. Go ahead, Nick.
Additionally, this would be on the authority of the committee and the common council to issue or to delegate some of these tasks. Any license issued in violation of Chapter 125 is void. And so one of the safeguards that you would have is that if someone for some reason went rogue and decided to jeopardize their employment and admit their friend or something along those lines, then that would be issued in violation of our municipal code, which is authorized by Wisconsin Statute 125. And so we've talked about that point specifically. And so that license would be void. If you came upon information that something was not considered, or that should have been considered, or shouldn't have come, or should have come to you based on the code that you would enact, is a void license and they have to go through the process again.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, all the
and
person,
I just want to add, and just for clarification, I believe Rebecca had stated that she has a great amount of experience in licensing. Am I correct, Rebecca? If you need to reiterate that?
For 15 years of my life, I
Okay.
helped with licenses
Okay.
and
So
hundreds of bartenders.
okay, so I think that based on the criteria that's set forth, I think the oversight would be in good hands. Personally, that's how I feel. I do understand what you're saying, Alderwoman Ranky, about us having that oversight of 5 of us. But as you can see, and Attorney Serwin pointed it out tonight, I mean, 5 applicants came. And if they followed that outline that's set there, that's if we approve, only 1 would have come to us in the first place. And that's really going to help us be efficient. So why put the clerk's office through multiple tasks to end up having to do double the work? Because I think that's what it ends up being. So that's the efficiency, at least I'm seeing as it's been explained. So
Oh, thank
that's
you
just for
all.
a point of clarity. I think it would be in good hands.
yes. Nick, you were say something?
Mr. Chair, I'm not
Yes. All
questioning.
person, right, go
I'm
ahead.
not questioning that part. I'm questioning additional workload for our Rebecca. Because she would have to oversee all of this as well. And she has a load with all the additional work that she is performing right now. So it's more than just efficiency.
Okay.
It involves a lot, but I thank you all for your opinions.
Yeah, if, I would like to relate to that questions about the fact that, you know, I say that with the new technology that we all going through, you know, I mean, I understand it's an additional work, but based on weekly, based on the amount of, you know, applications and demands for the reason of the licensing, I believe it could be handled appropriately, you know, and the fact it is that based on this ordinance that was drafted, you know, and that I see, I mean, almost every paragraph, if it's a question, is questionable for us to have that person coming in, you know, that's already in. But if it's something legit, you know, the person is clear, he's got a clear records. Well, I mean, I believe that, you know, there was my initial cost. I was concerned too. But if the person has a clear road, you know, he has never done anything and has a few offenses of driving or, so then I believe the clerk office based what I see on the documentations or explanation was provided to us. I mean, most of the paragraphs I believe are very explicit. You know, they will follow that if it needs for the applicant to come in front of us. I mean, that's already here. You know, so to me, I mean, to me, it's a hell of a good, effective, and efficient efficiency decision really for the of course for Rebecca and our clerk, I mean our city office, attorney office. To me, that's something that's workable. You know, it's something that, I mean, I never see that before. You know, but this to me makes sense. You know, if you go every paragraph, it does self-explain our the duty of the clerk, what she have to follow, he have to follow. But then it could, if anything else that she feels uncomfortable, which already that's all in writing, you know, that she have to bring to our attention, you know, whoever's going to
Mr.
be.
Chair?
Yes.
Just to kind of go back to what Alderwoman Ranky had asked, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I hopefully didn't bulldoze what you were asking.
Yeah.
I guess we could go back to Rebecca and say, okay, we're looking at on average, how many applicants do we see each common council, our committee? I don't think it's an insurmountable amount that would really put a strain on the workload personally. I'm thinking that I don't think Ms. Grill would have come forward and said, hey, let's look at doing this if she felt that was a burden of weight. But I think with the amount that we see in each committee meeting, I think that's a pretty easy workload, to be honest with you. Am I
Yeah.
correct, Rebecca?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been averaging less than 10. And right now, if they come to committee, we're touching them at least 4 times. With
Mhm.
this, it would be 2 or 1. So
Yeah.
as far as additional work, the way it is right now is takes up more time.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear, because that's what I thought I was hearing, is that that's the point of the efficiency that you are looking for and that we are appreciative for.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Nick, go ahead.
another thing to consider is that the same information or similar information is going to be compiled from the police department. And so we're getting that information right now and just organizing it in a way to pass it on to you currently. That same information will be compiled for the clerk's office to utilize. And beyond just the efficiency for the clerk's office, it's going to be some efficiencies for the applicants as well, in terms of the time that they're waiting for these. The timing that we have right now, occasionally when they have that provisional license, it lapses and they are unable to continue that until either approved or denied by us. And so, or by the committee. And so that's another thing to consider. I'd also like to point out that when we went through this and tried to delineate qualifications for applicants, this is the area that the city attorney's office is recommending that is defensible legally. And so certainly these line items could be considered when something is not going to get approved if this is approved. If something doesn't get approved at the clerk's level, it gets passed on to the License and Health Committee, and you could still approve it or deny it. That person, you could say, well, these are just basically the floor level that we say, okay, anything that doesn't hit this should be approved. These are all the reviewable candidates. And so if we want to adjust where that floor is, be my guest, I would caution changing the offenses unless we look at it closer and it's legal. I'll just leave that at that then.
So any further questions for Rebecca or Attorney
Mr.
Serwin?
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
Mr.
Go ahead,
Chair,
Rose.
I
Go ahead,
do
Rosemary.
appreciate and Attorney Nick have explained further. And as long as I know that we do have checks and balances in place, I feel more comfortable with the plan. And thank you enough. Thank you both for
Mr. Chair,
explaining further.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else needs to come in from the license?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we have to circle back to the applicant, Ashley, who we were waiting for. Is she with
Oh.
us?
No, she's not.
No,
Okay, I make a motion to deny based on non-appearance.
Second.
All
That
in
was
favor of
Crystal.
denial, which I'm happy about it?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Alderman Rowe.
don't we need 2 non-appearances?
I think we had one, almost 2
wasn't
already,
that
right?
Crystal Hussein?
Yes.
Not Ashley. It
Oh,
was
I said Ashley, I'm sorry.
No, Crystal,
Crystal
Crystal.
Hussein.
Yes.
You slain. So I don't know, that's up to the committee. I don't know, there's been an emotion and second of
Is this
denial.
her first non-appearance or her second?
As far as I know, that's the second, right,
believe it.
Nick?
It should be the first, I believe.
Yeah, it's the first.
Is there a rule that I'm unaware of? Is that what it is, Alderman Rowe?
It's just been a policy we've done for a long time. I don't think this committee has too many rules. I think it's just policy.
Okay, I was unaware of that. So how do we approach that as I made the
I
motion?
would hold it till the next meeting.
I'll remove my second.
So
Okay,
then
I
we
will
will-
remove my motion as a policy that has been followed in the committee prior and offer a second appearance. Is that adequate?
I think that's a very well.
Okay, so
Address.
then we make a motion to hold over for our next meeting, this applicant? Or is it just left as the
Yeah, I don't
motion
think
I
we need
made?
a motion to holding it for the next meeting. I think we just, we'll give her
Okay.
another chance, you know. I don't think we need a motion for that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Rebecca, you did say you did talk to her today?
On Friday, she emailed
Oh.
me twice. And I
Oh,
just,
oh.
while you were meeting, I tried to get in contact with her again and I
Okay.
haven't heard anything. You did make a motion to hold the other, the tavern license. So I don't know if you want some consistency with the holding.
or the one with Peter Angus.
Yeah, so if you want to,
In
motion
all
to hold.
fairness, I don't see anything really with the Peter Angus always trying to, you know, good business in West Dallas, you know. So I mean, that's up to the committee, you know. They want to hold
Rebecca,
it.
I will make that motion to hold.
Yeah,
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor to hold the
Aye.
Mr. Peter Angus applications for the.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the high have it. So,
Mr. Chair, I make a
yes.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in
Second.
favor to adjourn?
Aye.
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 So the